Hello friends, welcome to Exampur. I hope my voice is audible, screen is visible, everything is set. If this is so, please do let me know whether my voice is clear or not, screen is visible or not, so that I can proceed with the lecture. So guys, before going further, I just want to let you know about the Exampur app, and you will just require to go by these 6 steps so that you can get registered for the Exampur app. Without any benefit, you are not required to download the app. You have the access for various amenities that is for free. And whatever level of batches you are required, you can just purchase the paid batches as well. But if you require more discount, you can just have the access of various test series in which you will be available a scholarship on the basis of report cards. And other benefits are already available on the screen. You can just have a glance and explore the app so that you can take the following benefits that is for free. So guys, I just want to let you know about following principle. Nowadays it is going on the basis of historical ideology we can talk about, and the concepts we might have heard of free trade, financial freedom, privatization are not the right solution for Indian citizens. Before going further, I just want to let these terminology clear to you people. First, we are going to just talk on behalf of free trade, and second is all about privatization or freedom, financial freedom, financial third is all about the privatization. You just have to talk about these 3 dimensions. This is with respect to the globalization. If we are taking the factor of free trade into acknowledgement, this is the perspective taking along with the Adam Smith if we talk about the classical economist. And if we do talk about free trade, so it is coming out with the perspective of specialization. Specialization. And second, specialization means you would be given work of the production increment or the expansion. It is definitely going to raise the productivity, and it is definitely going to raise the level of output. Okay, free trade is going to work on the basis of specialization. In whatever field you do have interest, you are going to work accordingly. This is going to entail the less cost and the optimum utilization of resources, or fully utilization of resources. That's not only economical in nature, but the environmental as well. Financial freedom, if we do talk about, if you are being given the financial autonomy, you can just purchase or sell the asset anywhere you are sitting around, and you just want to go for any asset, you can have the access for the same. This is going to be on the basis of anywhere access, freedom as this word represents, and it has to be simpler. Mitigating the gap, mitigating the physical gap plus increasing the economic activities declining the migration. Without your going, things are getting accomplished. Okay? If you're talking about the privatization, if you are talking about the privatization, what do you mean by privatization? The main motive is to maximize profit, to use the resources efficiently and effectively. Again, it would be optimal in nature. Okay, so these are the three periphery. Now, on the basis of this picture, I am going to elaborate the point. So, ideology war. What is the things are taking into consideration? 20th century also witnessed the ideology battles among the economists. Economists we are talking about with respect to communism, with respect to socialism and capitalism. And our economy is considered, like Indian economy is considered as the mixed economy. Our economy is considered as the mixed economy. And we have to be mixed. We have to be mixed. We have to be based on social perspective and the economical perspective. Social perspective talks about the inclusivity. Principle like सबका साथ सबका विकास has to be there. And next is all about economy is majorly concerned with the growth perspective. Growth is only making inclination for income. And I just want to let you know, I just want to tell you about one principle which is on the limelight today. Like we have acquired the position of 5th largest economy. If I do talk about who is behind, India is only behind 4 economy. What are those economy? US, China, Japan, and then Germany. We have surpassed 2 economies. Like currently we have just surpassed UK. Earlier we have surpassed France. So India is on top 5th position. Then you need to be very much concerned about the size of the economy and what level of income you do have in terms of Indian economy. Like $816 billion in case of UK, and India would be 854 billion in case of India. Besides these 2 points, if we are making the comparison of largest economy only, we need to be very much concerned about following factor. If we have to show the socialist aspect also, we need to be very much concerned about these factors. Like these are very much concerned about the growth perspectives, and this is going to be very much concerned about per capita, including every single component. This is more realistic you can consider. This is more realistic you can consider. 5th is about health capacity, like coverage you can talk about. Okay. 5th is all about HDI. Again, you can make comparison. This is the clear-cut approach. You can just have the analysis. And social approach, somewhere we have got to see the low per capita income. Low per capita income, and we are so low in the index as well. What do you mean by low per capita income? If we are making the comparison of low per capita income, what do we mean by low per capita income? You need to understand this. Low per capita income means less inclusivity of people. Less inclusivity of people, which is leading to what? Inequality, which is raising inequality level. What would be required? What would be required approach that is structural transformation? Okay. So shift in the balance, we are talking about shift in the balance from democracy to like democracy is somewhere. What do we mean by democracy? In economical wordings, I would talk about only. That is the inclusivity. We try to include more and more people. We want to subsume population into the economical system, into the economical activity. So we have to provide more and more, provide access to people when things would be cheaper in character. And capitalization, if we are talking about in the last 30 years, it is continuously increasing the domain. It is continuously increasing domain. Good afternoon, Chandan. Amazing, I am. And vividly, as we are passing year by year, we are continuously making the expansion in the what? Capitalism. And what do we mean by democracy over here in the economical wording? We are trying to include more and more people. When can we include? When we will provide access to the people in the economical activity. And what we are doing right now, that is spreading this economical system towards the capitalism domain. As we have forgot about the system that Indian economy is mixed one. Mixed is matchup of social plus the capitalist economy. So we are continuously making upgradation as we have attained 5th position, but somewhere we are lagging so much behind. In case of per capita income, we have secured approximately 127th rank. And if I do talk about the HDI index, this is the medium to increase the accessibility or to increase the scopes for person to get indulged in the economic activity. So what is the India's level? That is 0.645. And what about the UK, to whom we have surpassed in case of income? That is 0.932. You can look at the gap we are having in terms of development scenario. So what can we talk about over here? Government of country represent the interest of millions, billions of people in their countries. And in why we are so low at the per capita income? Because we are known about the population, that we are the second largest populated country. And third is about, on other side, disputed are few investors, like who is the holder or who is the owner of major resources of our country. That is, you might be aware about the fact of 10%, top 10% in terms of economical strata, having 77% of the resources approximately. That is making 80% are with only 10% people. That is why We are talking about the few investors are carrying our economy as a whole, and the global rules and national financial trade regulation too. They are moving towards the financial investors. Like we are making investment in the foreign country, we are making the portfolio investment, and we are also getting indulge ourselves towards the currency and the export import of the services. But somewhere we are getting indulged in the economical activities which are beyond the borders, expanding the base for our growth. No doubt it is expanding the base for our growth, but we are not making ourselves indulge in the criteria, which is not at all providing the opportunity for the migrants. Getting my point? Migration has gone down due to this reason beyond the national border. As you already have the access of financial assets, and due to the simpler rules and regulation of global orders, you are not required, you are not at all required to be in another country to make transaction, to have the access of services. You can sit anywhere, you can make transaction anywhere. If you want to deal with the US company, you can sit at your home and have the virtual access. This is where you are upgrading. This is where your services are going up. But somewhere the better opportunity for the human migration from searching for the better opportunity across the border, that is going down. You can just make the example that enter and exit of the country whenever they will, while stopping the human migration from searching for better approach across the national border. Rules and regulation has been simpler nowadays in comparison to the earlier domain. What we are trying to say over here is, if we are trying to get the capitalist principle, suppose if we are trying, like at times, for the country like us, Indian economy, as we are the mixed economy, social approach has to be there in order to mitigate the gap between the population, which is on huge level. You can understand the point. But what is the problem over here? If we are not working on the social parameters, and if we keep proceeding towards the capitalist economy, it would create the domain in a way that the common factors and the resources which our country possess, like if you talk about the common factor, or you are making it capitalized, like common property must be privatized for their production. Like common property, you can take it as like whatever common property or the government property, public goods, if you are making it privatized, it means you have to make payment. Who is going to purchase that property? Suppose this domain like railways we are talking about, or the railways we are talking about, or if you are starting charges for the public gardens, these are the common property, you can share the responsibility in these things. If you are making sell of these kind of properties, okay, then it has to be purchased by some richer person. Obviously, these has to be purchased by the richer segment. Okay, more wealthy people. Public resources are privatized, already have wealth, they are creating it, or it is going to lead what? Creation of wealth, making them more rich, which is making them more rich. So somewhere what you are looking at, the principle of equity. This is going to lead the inequality in the domain. This is going to lead the inequality in domain. Inequality in domain. If you are selling the common owned by rich, creation of more wealth, making them more rich. which is creating the inequality expansion. Okay, and this is entire the process coming under the capitalism. Okay, as we are moving towards capitalism, it is more making the things more unequal, giving the money in the hands of richer segment only. Principle of equity and ethics. No doubt we need to make the establishment of equity principle. We need to make the things progressive in nature if we have to take along our population into the segment of economic activity. What do we need to know about it if we are moving towards the equity? Equity in what sense I'll talk about now. And ethics if I do talk about. Equity and ethics. Like who have more capacity, that person is liable to make payment. But whosoever should be exempted out of the service of paying tax, that should be exempted because that person is not at all in condition to make payment. So this should be the way. That is the progressive approach you can form. That is the progressive approach you can form. And if you are establishing the basis for progressive approach, somewhere it is neglecting the norms or conducts of the capitalization. Okay, so somewhere if you are making the assurity for poor section, that we are going to provide the basic necessity to them, and we are trying to make the universal income for them without making contribution in the economy. Such kind of food, work for food facility, that would be quite normalized. So somewhere if we are moving towards the equity principle, ethical principle and the social economy in order to bring more and more people into the system, that is somewhere driving the economy below the efficiency level and below the productivity domain, and which has become the thrust for the economic activity globally. So this is not only the domain we are talking about with respect to Indian economy. Gandhi, somewhere we are making the talk, as you might have studied or read the article in the Hindu. This is the article from the Hindu, or I am trying to explain here about the ideology. What is all about the socialism? What is all about the mixed economy? What would happen if we are moving towards the capitalist? How it is making the developmental parameters, and it is leading to the expansion of inequality. Now, it has been instructed that we should move towards the Gandhi's ethical economics, that is concept of free trade, financial freedom, privatization, promoted by the macroeconomics are not good condition for India's billion citizens struggling for the resilience and lives. Okay. So this is not the good condition. This is good condition with respect to economy, with respect to the resources being utilized thoroughly. But this is not at all good condition for if we are taking the millions or billions of population of Indian economy into consideration. This would not be the suitable and fair go for that domain. And like Gandhiji has has said that there is fulfillment of requirement for the survival basis, but not for the greed basis. What do we mean by it? They always used to give the emphasis on the decentralization principle. Decentralization. And this is somewhere the responsibility of state to maintain the basic necessity Next is all about decentralization is leading to increase in employment opportunity. So what we are talking about, shape of the economy matter, when you are not only making concern, we are not only making concern not monetary growth human well-being. Okay. Yes, decentralization helps in check. We can make the check and balance, like it is making the proper distribution of the resources and increasing the head, like increasing the hands of access. You can talk about. If large scale is providing employment for 500, it has the potential to provide employment for 50,000 people. So this kind of access you are getting in your hand, responsibilities being allocated, that should be the responsibility of government, responsibility of state to at least provide the basic necessities and at least provide the basic work so that they can attain their survival basis out of that work. Next is about increasing the employment. If you are making the decentralization, it will automatically generate the opportunities for that being. Next is all about, not only it is making concern for the monetary growth. Continuously what we are talking about here is, we have attained the 5th largest position in the entire global scenario, but somewhere we are lagging still behind the per capita income. The health coverage we are talking about, we have attained approximately 146th rank out of 146th rank in case of gap, gender gap index I have told you about. And in that health sector, we were playing the disastrous role. We have attained the last rank in that case. So we are lagging so behind in case of health coverage, in spite of having the largest umbrella scheme of Ayushman Bharat in our country. Third is all about, we are getting concerned about the Hdi Index. Somewhere still we are back in case if we are making comparison with the UK. So on what factors, on what grounds we are talking that we are running largest economy? On number 5, we are not required to maintain that status. We have to maintain a status which is really making care of our people, making care of our well-being. With the Gandhian era, we need to make the establishment of. Yes, it governed less and requires less resources. So these are the principles we can make the surety of. So you can correlate the article with the like I have explained you about in the very starting. Today the motive of the today's article, you might have read, my ideology was just to deliver the ideological war what is required in our country and what could be attained by other country. Many of the countries can afford to have the capitalism system in their country, but we cannot afford to have such system. That is why we have attained in the resolution 1948, we have attained the mixed economy, that is the combination of social and economical domain. Social goes for the inclusivity principle and the economy goes for the growth. We have to go hand in hand for both the perspective. And what are all the ideology we are talking about? Communalism, socialism, capitalism, and in what go we are making the like attainment of the policy. And this is the clear picture we have attained just recently, that 5th largest economy we are, and we are left behind only 4 countries, that is US, China, Japan and Germany. We are on number 5th, and size you can just have the analysis. Per capita you are talking about, you have attained 122nd position. Here you are required to attain at least below 50 rank in the, such domains. And health coverage we are talking about, and HDI, Human Developmental Index. This is where you need to make the growth, and this is where you are adding up the developmental principle. So what is the real meaning if we are attaining the low per capita income? Low per capita income, you can just have a glance. If you have low per capita income, means less and less people are included in the economical activities domain. If less people are included, means inequality gap is continuously widening. And what would required approach over here? Like structural transformation is required. As I've mentioned that you are not required to go somewhere else to conduct your work in the economical activities. Okay, you can sit at your home and make contribution in the economy. What you are required, that structural transformation, labor intensive jobs are, you are playing the rocking role in the software services. You are considered as the representative hub in case of software. Automobiles, you are ranking top fifth and you are expecting to attain third rank in 2030. And pharmaceutical industry, again, you are playing the topmost role. These all industries are capital intensive. You are required to work in the domain in which your factors are having abundance. Okay, so that your factors could be utilized beyond the potential. Okay, next is all about free trade, financial freedom and privatization. These are the complements to each other. Free trades, you are not restricting the trade which is economical in factor but also the environmental one. For financial services, anyone can access a simpler processes mitigating the physical gap and economical activity expansion that is making the reduction in the migration. Privatization motive is just to explore on profit, which is making the things and utilizing the things efficiently or effectively. Okay. So next is all about the another core capitalism, and if we want to explore the field of capitalism, if you are selling up the common resources and the public resources, if you are selling up, it has to be acquired by the powerful people who are rich in resources. They'll purchase more resources, create more wealth would be in their hand. Richer people are getting more richer. It is expanding the gap between rich and poor more if you are moving towards the capitalist system. Okay. So next is all about selling. I have already mentioned this about this. If you have to move towards the equity and ethics, you need to go for the progressive approach without caring, without making the impact or without getting bothered about the productivity and the efficiency principle, which is making thrust of economical policy globally. Now, you are coming across on the Gandhian principle, giving more emphasis on the basic necessity. Their main concern was not to establish the monetary powerful world, but to have the access of the real resources in everybody's hand. And decentralized system should be there so that employment generation would be there in the economy and equality could be attained. There is difference between equality and equity. Equity is all about building the capacity in human well-being. Okay, it is progressive in nature. Equality is like at times it is regressive in nature. Okay, so this centralization you need to make major emphasis on, and economic governance by Mahatma Gandhi calculus you are required to read upon, and Purna Swaraj, like accessibility. We are here talking about the accessibility of resources could go up more and more so that resources could be not only allocated nicely but also distributed in a very efficiently manner. Okay, so what we are talking about, allocation is not only resource, allocation is not only the need of our. This is from the point of view of capitalism. Allocation is with respect to the capitalism. And if we do talk about distribution we are getting concerned for our people. Getting concerned for human well-being. Okay, distribution, and this is the capitalism. Okay, so these two are the parameters we have to go hand in hand. Capitalism, one of the main point is to utilize the resources thoroughly as much as possible. Okay, these are the clear-cut domain and the ideological war which do take place in the picture. So not only making the concern that we have to attain the 5th largest economy and we are trying to have the third third or fourth position by the year 2029. This is not only ultimate aim. Our aim should be like that we have to go below the 50th rank in per capita. This should be our aim, so that we are not only making transformation in the monetary value, but we are also making the inclusivity, or we are also making the resources reachability towards the common domain. Okay, this should be our target. Okay, so guys, do not forget to download the Exampur app. You are required to go by only these 6 steps, which has to what is required over here. You are just required to register in the app, so that you can have access of free amenities available on the app. Yes, technology, in order to bring or build the productivity part, knowledge and technology is required from our resources and best use from them. Yes. And we have to spread the resources and technological transformation between the people. If you are spreading it, means you are providing food only for their work. Means somewhere labors are being used, and out of that use, you are making them available food. Okay, that should be the criteria. Both the things has to be in a very optimal manner and in a very balanced one. The way I have just mentioned over here, that allocation and distribution both are the today's need of our. Okay, this is the basic requirement of our country, because our country is not the one who can survive on the basis of only capitalism principle. We need to have these societal parameter in order to equip our people. So both the domains, allocation with respect to capitalism, distribution with respect to per capita, both the principles should be accommodated in order to accomplish our goal of inclusive growth plus the sustainable growth. You have to make the inclusion of environmental. If you are opting for the things which is economical in nature, it will definitely moving towards the environmental principle. But you have to accompany the distribution system. Somewhere we are lagging behind enormously. Okay. So this is the main basis. And anything else, if you want suggestion or the recommendation you want me to do, so I can come up with the same lecture. And 9 to 10, if I do talk about 9 to 10 is for my economic static portion, and 12 to 1 is for my DNA, which is relevant to the economical affairs. So this is making the comfort zone in you people. You would get easy access for the examination in this domain. Thank you so much. Have a great day to all of you. At times we do not, because ultimately there would be left behind only production one. Getting my point? If everywhere where you will get to see the richer sections around you, that is going to only provide the production units. But where would consumption go? Who would be there to have demand? So production would be acquired, or production would be expanded on the basis of consumption. So we would require people who can make demand. If there would be more and more inequality, there would no one to make demand over the periphery. So we would require a kind of balance in terms of allocation and the distribution both, in order to establish the well-being of the economic activity. So guys, thank you so much. Have a great day to all of you.